Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie. And boy, I wasn't much for Obama administration. I didn't pay much attention, but some things I did. Some things he say, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And a lot of stuff that we seen with Iran came from his administration. A little bit of Carter, because remember we had those hostages. Um, and then Reagan and Bush moved in, and they freed them, and but with a price. We did pay a price. Don't let the government lie to you. Um, I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but you know, I never liked NBC, and I NBC journalist was arrested in Israel. Very serious offenses. Yeah, a reporter who is currently working for NBC News was arrested in Jerusalem last week for allegedly praising Hamas and celebrating the terror group's October 7th terror attacks on social media while it was happening. Well, you kind of wonder what's up. Um, now, she is described by an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, as a Palestinian residing in East Jerusalem. She had been wanted for questioning by police last month over pro Hamas Facebook post, and prosecutors granted the police that request. Um, so, October 7th, Al Azhar pulled a post on her personal Facebook account allegedly supporting Hamas terrorism. She wrote, on the day of the kidnapping, an elderly woman from Gaza border, it's killing me. It's like a black comedy. The old woman looks happy. A bit of action before she dies. She further reported on her post um, that the ongoing massacre as a film of Hamas militants were superstars. Another one said, I feel like I'm watching a movie where the director is a Palestinian and the propagandists are from Gaza. She also uh, confirmed to investigators that she was authorized by Facebook to do this, which she wasn't, they found out. These are very serious um, offenses during a war crime. And this is and she's engaged in journalism. But we've seen this. They were saying it was fake. Um, uh, we're looking at a media with false narratives. We're looking at propaganda. There was even one that said that she was glad it was happening, and she was rooting for the good team, which was Hamas. It didn't say Palestinians. It says, yeah, that's what I was looking for. When I went looking through the post, it was like, she didn't say Palestinians. It was always Hamas. Hooray for Hamas. Hooray for what they're doing. They're doing a great job. Um, but yeah, me and William have told you they were raised to hate Israel. And well, not only that, but then you got Hezbollah the same way, and Iran is the same way. Um, Iran has been saying death to America, death to UK, death to Israel for decades, decades and decades, decades. So that's what we have. And Israel, yeah, Israel's not playing around. Boy, William, you read my mind. Um, and I'll get into it a little bit because when we start looking at the choices, and I don't know if me and William see eye to eye, but in the long run, Netanyahu has to do what he's got to do. I don't think anybody should tell Netanyahu what to do. Now we hear of this ceasefire that could go on for a couple days. Um, Now, I'm waiting for Netanyahu on this. Now, when Netanyahu says, "Yeah, I'll let him in, and we're going to do a ceasefire," but I think he's going to go to another part of Gaza and fight while he lets the supplies in. He'd be dumb if he did a ceasefire. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. So the NBC journalist was got herself in a bit of a pickle. Now she's been arrested, and I don't know what. No, nothing from NBC. Nothing. NBC didn't even, when asked, no comment. Of course, no comment. They're not going to say nothing. All right, so the Trump trials, it's hard to keep up with. I really have a hard time doing one from the other. One's a civil trial, one's um, the January 6th trial. But the judge rejected the attempt to disqualify Trump under insurrection clause, orders the state officials to put him back on the ballot. Colorado judge rejected the effort Friday to remove President Trump from the state's 2020 election ballot. Uh, Judge Sarah Wallace held in her 102-page ruling Friday that Trump is not an officer of the United States, disqualified from holding office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, ordering Colorado Secretary of State to place Trump on the primary ballot. And it's unlawful for them to take him off. However, Wallace did find Trump engaged in an insurrection on January 6th through the incitement. It does not protect his speech. So while the court agrees that there are persuasive arguments on both sides, the court upholds that the absence of the president from the list of positions which to the amendment applies, and that the fact that Section 3 specifies the disqualifying oath is one to support the Constitution. The presidential oath is to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution no matter what. It appears to the court that whatever reason the drafters of Section 3 did not intend to include a person who had only taken the oath is what she wrote. So, with the January 6th thing, folks, there's new tapes coming out, and they've got police, doing this knuckle thing. Good job, good job. It shows them opening the doors, throwing tear gas, having them lead the people through the building. And I'm sick of them, the Democrats, trying to say all these officers were hurt or died. There's only one person that died, and it was that girl. More and more is coming out, and I believe that eventually we're going to get either Trump in or president in, that they're going to make them release all the tapes. Because I watched it that day, and I thought, they were being pretty good. And when they were told to leave, the people that were on the camera that I was watching, they all left. They just walked back out the door. It wasn't no biggie. Nobody was yelling, screaming. The only thing I seen yelling and screaming was coming from the police skirmish with the protesters in front of the building. And I don't even know why that was happening. I never could make sense of that. So, but they're not going to keep him off the ballot. So we have to keep an eye on that. There's still a year. We still got judges and lawsuits that they're going to keep trying. They're going to keep trying. SOROS funded DAs. Now, the other day there was one that, there's been quite a few. I found 4 that now have been removed from the DA's office because they're being caught being paid lots of money by George Soros. And now Soros-funded district attorney gets hostile at a reception at the fallen police officer's funeral. So this district attorney who had prosecuted police officers in Austin, why would, mine is, why did they go to the funeral? I mean, if you don't like police officers, why go? Well, an unwelcome guest, when he came to the funeral, of an Austin officer killed in the line of duty. Now, Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza left early after it was made clear to him how little welcome he was. See, this is it. There's everybody standing up to these people. They stood up to him, and so Garza won the election by promising to show officers who was the boss and how he raised a perfect police force by defunding them. When he came walking in, I thought, according to some of the guests, I thought, what the gall this man to show up at a funeral for an officer in the line of duty when all he's done has been an officer and been in office is go after cops. So from my perspective, he wasn't welcome. In fact, that he was asked to leave or he chose to leave on his own, we don't know. Whatever the case may be, I'm glad he left because he shouldn't have shown up there in the first place. He heckles the cops. He goes after the cops. Anything he could do to get rid of the cops. And they know it. They know it there. And so I agree with him that he's got the gall to show up. And I guess he really just thought he belonged. Well, he belongs to the Democrat Socialists of America. Anybody know about that? That's what caught me. I was like, what? Yeah, the Democrat Socialists of America Party made waves in 2022 by indicting 19 Austin police officers in connection with the response of the 2020 Black Lives Matter protest. So you see, since Garza took office, the number of cases referred to his office that he did not choose to prosecute has spiked. Yeah, he's not prosecuting. He's one. It's like these other four folks. They're not prosecuting. They're raising the limits of what you can steal. You know, if you steal $1,200 worth, well, up to $1,200, we're just going to turn you free. You know, and let's not be so harsh on pedophiles or child molesters or other crimes, carjackings. What about the stores? You know, as they can loot the stores as long as they don't steal more than $1,200. Why do you think they're going back? But that's what it's happening. So this will probably be the next one to go. So that'll be 5. It's not enough, because we don't know how many he's paid. And not only, we haven't even started on the chief of police that he's paid. So everybody start to stand up to these guys. I'm glad. We need to. Now, I seen a video the other day because, you know, I've lived in Sacramento for so long, and the video was all the businesses in Sacramento are gone. And I was, what? What do you mean? K Street and J Street, it was booming when I left. Well, no, I watched this guy walk up and down J Street and K Street, and it's gone. I was like, wow. Well, you know, they cleaned up the streets in San Francisco, and they say it's a perfect little city now. No, not so fast. They all went back. And so California started looking at what happened before. Why is everything so back? Why is everybody in the streets? The needles are back. The pee and the poop and the dirt and the garbage and the homeless and the tents and the drug addicts, the pimps, the drug dealers, yeah, they're all back. They're all back in full force. Well, of course, they live there. So now, since 2022, Alameda County jail population fell to its lowest level in 20 years. And they're seeing that all over the state. Several California counties have recalled or trying to recall the progressive district attorneys. As the community leaders say, they are fed up with these guys. They're fed up with the violent crime. And it's not just, you know, we're talking Oakland and Berkeley, Sacramento, the Bay Area. Um, and so now they say they need 73,000 valid signatures from voters for the recall to get off the ballot, to get on the ballot. I'm sorry. And so what they want to do is they're going to go after these people. They're going to go after the chief of police. They're going to go after the DAs. They're going to go after the prosecuting attorneys. They're going after mayors. See, folks, everybody's getting fed up. So it's, and what gets me, this is the voters. The effort comes after San Francisco voters successfully recalled Chelsea Bowden last year in a 55 to 45 vote. Earlier this summer, the committee recalled George Gascon for the court to certify its recall petition. The recall committee submitted over 750,000 signatures last year. So these aren't the only ones. It's all throughout California, come to find out, where the voters are standing in front of stores and uh, businesses and walkways, the parks, everything, anywhere they can get signatures to start uh, recalling these people in California. They're tired of it. How long is it going to be before it hits Illinois, Chicago? What about Detroit, New York, Philadelphia? Huh, Karen? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be awesome to start recalling some of these people that are wrecking your lives? They're wrecking their lives. It's with crime. It's with what's on the streets, what they see on the streets. Because all of these cities, folks, are look like San Francisco. They all look like San Francisco. I've looked at places in Sacramento that I was like, oh my God, how did that happen? How did it happen? It's called the years of Obama and the years of Biden, or Biden twice, because he was in with Obama. It was their administration, their advisors. It's Biden, and we know Obama helps him, and their advisors. Obama's people are in office. No wonder it's a continuation of the Obama wish. Yeah. So, as we could see, California is now going to start recalling these dodo heads. I don't know what else to call them, William. Me and William, we're on the phone, and he always says, "Boy, I can't say what I'm thinking." So we got to come up with dodo heads or something. So, um, well, but is the thing about it, is that mayor really going to do anything? That Karen says Philly has a new Democratic mayor. Well, we seen what happened in Chicago. They had a bad one, and then they got a new one, and it was a bad one. Then they had the lady one, Lightfoot, and she was a bad one. Now they got another one. Is he doing anything? I doubt it. And it's like Adams. We keep seeing the same old. They do the same thing. They never change anything. And I always thought it was about the money. Well, they're getting money, and they're starting to wear those nice suits, and they start driving the nice cars, and they get more money. And I think it's sponsored by the Democrats. They can give the money to any of them people that they want. Under the table, over the table, illegal table, or whatever it may be. They're gonna, whatever they want their agenda to be. I mean, look at poor Eric Adams. He's in New York. Yeah. Look at all the ones that's been paid off, but look who lives there: Hillary and Nadler and all the crummy people that would do that. They don't care as long as it's not in their community. But now it's starting to filter into their communities, because we had another senator, and I think two congressmen. Their car's been taken in D.C. It's happening to them too now. It's a cult, William says. So maybe this recall will start working. If you're concerned about the state you're in, call up and the Republican and the GOP office and ask them, can you guys get a petition going to get rid of these fools? Do it. Because, if you don't push them, they're just going to sit there twiddling their thumbs saying, well, we don't know what to do. Well, call them up and encourage them, and say, we need you guys out there. We need it now so we can get better people in. Okay, so before I get going too far, I'm calling them dodo heads. Now, William, I don't know if you heard about this. We might have to look into this for tomorrow. The military is now trying to get ex-servicemen that were fired over the COVID vax mandate, offering return, correcting records. They're taking out any ill reports that with the pandemic. It's not an apology. I mean, they're not apologizing to them, but they're going to help them get back in. It doesn't look like they're going to give them a bonus. It's a really short, it's a really quick article. So the Department of Department of Defense is providing guidance on how to seek corrections of their discharge records and how to return to service. So I think, William, to me, this sounds like what they're going to do is they're going to correct that they weren't discharged, and they almost like they could re-up. They say they're experiencing difficulties recruiting new members. And so they're thinking this would be the best thing to do is to offer military members to come back. But like I said, this isn't. They're not gonna apologize. Defense Secretary issued another memo partially reversing course, stating that the military branch commanders may consider service members as like a vaccinated status kind of thing, they say, in making deployment, assignment, and other operational decisions, including that they can travel no matter what. They're not going to hold no vaccination against them, or none. An Army spokesman told the news Monday, as part of the overall mandate, the rescissions process mandated by Congress and the Army this month mailed letters to approximately 1,900 individuals who had previously, they're going to say, separated. Yeah, separated. The letter provides information to former service members on how to request corrections to their military records and come on back to the force. Oh, yeah. That's a new one. We didn't discharge them and give them a bad name. We just separated them for a short time. Now come on back, boys. If this isn't, and this wasn't really in the news. I mean, I barely caught this one, and it was on Just the News publication this morning, and I was like, they got to be kidding me! Look what they just did to them. And oh hey, it was just a long vacation, right? Now you can come back. I don't know. I think some of these guys might be angry. And they might not want to. They may have found a better job. But for those that really want to go back, go back. And if you were making good money, they probably put you right back in the same rank. And if you haven't found work and your family, think of your family and maybe go back. It'd probably be the same old guys you worked with before. Wow, William, that one there really got me. And this one here, now I first read it that it just a plane crashed overshooting a runway into the waters off Hawaii. I thought, huh? No, it was a U.S. Navy reconnaissance jet overshot the runway, ended up in the waters in Hawaiian of Oahu on Monday. Um, the aircraft, the pilot probably didn't put the plane down exactly where he wanted on the runway, and the um, aviation navigation website Foreflight provides a diagram of the runway, and he was um, assigned to the P-8 Poseidon by the tower at the time of the incident. They say he may not have landed there many times and just didn't didn't figure it out right. But they are going to investigate it, and he's so glad. Everybody's glad that everyone was rescued and survived the crash. But I think someone needs to take a look at the impact of the plane doing on our marine life, is what Hawaii complained about. There is jet fuel, antifreeze, and other toxins. Yeah. Well, everybody was okay though. So, William, look into that for tomorrow. I don't think there's anything to it. I think he just messed up. So what? But for them to get all upset over it and want it investigated, and when asked why, because there was jet fuel and toxins in the Hawaiian waters. Well, go around the side of the one of them islands and you'll see they dump garbage in their own oceans. Oh, good grief. All right, onward. Um, um, Poor Oregon, right? You have to admit sometimes it's fun to watch liberals goofy. Utopian ideas crash and burn around them. And the problem is their goofy utopian ideas affected people that live where they implemented and want nothing to do with them. The latest example of lefty ideas gone wrong comes to us from the state of Oregon. Measure 110, an initiative that would decriminalize hard drugs like heroin and fentanyl. It was supported by 58% of the voters and went to effect 2021. 3 years later, 56% of the voters say they don't like it. There's drugs all over our streets. Duh. For liberal, intentions are what seem to matter the most. And the Measure 110 is no exception. The original thinking behind the measures, if drugs like heroin and fentanyl were decriminalized, it would make access to treatment much easier. Yeah, California tried that, and look what they got. San Francisco with all the drug addicts and needles all over the streets. And then they gave them clean needles, so they wouldn't spread diseases. And then they gave them little help packs, and then they were giving them little baggies of food and quit babying these guys. Under the initiative, addicts would receive tickets that would result in a fine of $100. No word on how drug addicts would actually pay the fine, and the fine eventually would be waived, and the offender called a self-help line to seek treatment with those on call 24 hours to tell them to quit. But as usual, the reality is much different than imagined the outcome of lefty ideas. Under the initiative, roughly 6,000 people throughout the state were ticketed, and guess what? Guess how many paid? None. Guess how many went to that 24-hour self-help treatment line? 125 out of 6,000. So it didn't work. They said it was unsuccessful, and they are very disappointed that it wasn't. Police officers and firefighters are administering Narcan. and wanting everybody to carry Narcan. As you see, everybody should carry it so that you can help the local guy that's on drugs on the street. Why? This is created, they say, by Oregon and by dumb voters that now change their mind. They said if it was to go to vote today, that 110 is not the answer. They like to see drug possession become a class of misdemeanor and maybe force them into treatment, not have them call to get treated. Out of the 56%, they're saying that with the polling and the voters, they're saying that there only might be about 10% that actually would vote for it now. Huh? Isn't that the same in Philly, Karen and Susan? I mean, we're not seeing it so bad here, but I've seen some of these cities, and it's heartbreaking. They're just stuck. They're just stuck, that's all they live for, is to find the next fix. And look at what they just did to their own city. And it was the people that voted for it. When you vote for it and it goes bad, then fix it. Fix it. I just thought it was really, you guys have voted it in, and then now you don't like it 2 years later. Now you want them to take it away. Now you want misdemeanors and force them into drug treatment programs. Huh? We told you so, Oregon. We told you so. Now, um, high school reportedly cancels USA Day because it's too politicized. It's a high school in Massachusetts. Boy, this is disturbing. They canceled USA Day from its Spirit Week. Because Spirit Week, it's always that way. And they decided that the patriotic theme day was canceled because the topic had become too politicized. Did someone not go to history or something on this principle of Wesley High School? Jamie Chisholm. They said, they've got better things they could do. The administration just not going to let this happen. Um, uh, of the school. They said it's just, it's not part of really Spirit Week. It's just everybody gets political on which side are they on and who they're voting for. Folks, if you're my age, if you listen to this, you're thinking that's that's not what the spirit of our country's about. You could at least, give homage to the American Indians. It doesn't have to be political. Only you make it political. Only the teachers make it political. So they said, you know what? They're going to have like, um, I, let me see if I can find the list. Um, okay, so instead of Spirit Week and having everybody um, uh, totally enjoy the United States Day and our country and how great it is, they said, no, we're going to have a mismatch Monday. Tuesday is Tropical Tuesday, where you can wear tropical pajamas. Western Wednesday, wear your cowboy stuff. Team Jersey for Thursday. And then Fitness Day. And then, you can wear Monday and Tuesday. It'd be a perfect pajama day. Spirit Week is intended to be light and a fun way for our students to get excited about our pep rallies and Thanksgiving and football. Oh, fun. Yeah. what kind of spirit does this school got for the United States? This is where the CRT comes in, folks. They're not teaching our kids how great America is anymore. I mean, what do we can't just depend on Trump saying make America great again. Well, because he's not a teacher and he's not going to really get into the finer facts, the finer truth of what our country is about. I mean, half of them hate the American flag. They don't want to do the Pledge of Allegiance. They don't want to sing the dumb songs. We have got children that are no longer proud of our country. And all they see on the news or hear uh, from their progressive parents at home is how horrible this place is. And that's why we had Spirit Week. That's what my principal told me, is that's why Spirit Week is there, so that we can enjoy our country and, of the freedoms we have that other countries don't have. So, yeah, okay. Dumb people. Dumb, dumb, dumb. So Biden uses the Cold War to nuke our gas furnace. What do you mean? Well, he says, back in World War II, and in wartime, uh, they used electric heaters. Turn off all your turn off all your gas powered heaters. Go get a little space heater and everybody can huddle it around and listen to the radio. What? I was like, maybe when he was a kid, but I don't think I'm going to get the kids off their cell phones or off the video games. They're going to get under blankets and turn the heat off. Really? And what? Huddle around the heater and the little space heater and listen to the radio. And I don't think the kids would listen to what I want to listen to on the radio anyway. It's like he's like a drunken congressman or something. I don't know. Uh, uh, but that's par for the course for him. Um, he says he wants you to he wants to boost electric heat pumps too, maybe a generator. But then I think he forgot you got to have fuel for your generator to heat your house. Okay. Or are you going to get an electric one where you got to have all them batteries? Oh, Tesla is recalling like 60,000 Tesla cars due to fires. Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's one of those things, not like the other, unless there's millions of dollars to throw around, while putting the competitors out of business. And I'm sure enough, Biden will dole out millions of dollars to boost the production of electric heat pumps. You know, I think he would rather us just turn off the heat, get a little space heater, and huddle around it and listen to the radio. Boy, I tell you. Sometimes you can get really mad at this, and then when you look at it, you just crack up. Like, what the heck? What are they thinking? What are they thinking? And I don't mind the electric cars, but they did it wrong. They went about this wrong. If they would have taken their time and maybe did the electric cars by 2035 or 2040, when they could have tested them, they could have worked on them. We could have looked at the solar way differently than it being, crammed down our throats, basically. And you have to do it now, now, now. So he's going to do away with the heaters and the stoves and oh boy, a little bit of everything, all the luxuries. And then they want to take the cows away. All right, folks. I don't think that page liked me because it went blank. So, how many How many aid groups knew Hamas was hiding in the hospital and lied about it? Hamas used Gaza City al-Shifa hospital as a base of terror operations. And it's obvious. And now it comes an important question for Congress, which U.S. funded international organizations knew the truth about al-Shifa and helped Hamas conceal it of war crimes. This is something that we're starting to look into. As we had been sending aid over not only to the Palestinians, but the Israelis. But they started asking these international aid foundations, the people that take the food and all that in. How many knew about this? And a lot of them said they did. Well, why didn't anybody ever turn this information over? And they don't have a reason why. So a lot of the aid that went into Gaza to the Palestinians they said knew that where they were putting these bunkers and the tunnels and where to go and where not to go. Stay away from this hospital, stay away from that school, they would say. So they did know. They did know. But no one, and these are U.S. aid foundations, and they didn't even report back to the United States government or even the Department of Defense or even the State Department where the U.S. aid pretty much comes from. They didn't even report to them. So you got to make this questionable on these foundations now. So I don't know if there's going to be a hearing. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about an investigation. Right now, it's Israel that's questioning them. And I'm pretty sure Israel will turn that over to the administration and ask them why this happened. So they knew about it, and it could have helped. It could have helped them locate the hostages. It could have helped them locate the hospitals that they could have possibly been using for Hamas terrorist leaders. We don't know. Wow. I'm just, it's really amazing. Israel designates Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Taiba as a terrorist organization. And I'm going to leave that for me and William for tomorrow. But what I'd like to mention is one of the things that Obama said early on was he always would say he really trusted. He would always say he trusted Iran to do the right thing, and he would do a few sanctions, not many. And he says, lending trust to you will be trust by you to build a better relationship with us. But Obama always tried to create a relationship, him and Kerry and Biden, with Iran. Well, when he kept saying this, finally, Mohammed of Iran at the time sent this response. We say to you that today you are in a position of pure weakness. Your hands are empty. You can no longer promote your interest from a position of strength. Your administration is weak. That's what they sent to Obama. So they weren't, that they could care less. If give us money, remove the sanctions, and we'll talk, basically. So that's, Bush put the sanctions on them so that they couldn't build any nuclear weapons. And Obama got in, and he totally changed the whole playing field. And then, we know Trump took it away, and then Biden put it back. So that's telling you this whole Obama with Iran and Kerry. And the Security, Pentagon, White House, and Congress. It really amazed me that this national security threat that is from Iran to our country is huge, and yet they keep ignoring it. They keep ignoring. Well, don't worry about Iran. We'll just give them some more money. Don't worry about Iran. And what people don't understand, their culture of religion is first, and then making the nuclear weapons. Now, do they have a nuclear weapon or not? We hear, yeah, they do. No, they don't. But the Iran leadership, which believes in the arrival of of a of them being the greatest in the world by their God, Iran, without understanding the foundations of the Shiite faith and Iranian religion, are going to make very big mistakes in dealing with this. It's a big problem for all of us, not just in the United States. They say, they're going to get Israel, they're going to get the United States. They also said at one time they were going to get the UK. They're going to go after Australia too at one point. But we don't know. They're really not telling us what they want to do, and they don't have. A, they have a very serious hidden agenda, and they're not lying. When they tell you stuff, uh, get this: their policies, their religion, and their culture says they can lie. They can lie straight face to you if it serves the purpose of them becoming the one leaders of the world and to take over the world in the oil. So they can lie all they want, and it's forgiven because it's to help them become better Iranians or better in their eyes of their Allah. I mean, if we look at how long they've been threatening us, and I mean, look at what Saddam said he was going to gas his own people. Wrote a book about it, and we ended up taking out Saddam. What about Hitler? What about um, uh, decades or centuries of leaders that said, we're going to go to war and we're going to do it. And everybody goes, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're okay. Well, we even did it with Hitler. Iran says it and we're just ignoring them. No, no. We're not even saying, no, you're okay. You're okay people. This administration just ignores it. And I think that's very serious. And when Obama signed, when he was in office, Kerry and Biden went over there dozens of times. And I couldn't figure it out why they were over there. Now it makes sense. And when he bowed before the Saudi prince, I think it was, or king, you don't bow to Arabs leaders. When you do that, that's submission. It means they're more powerful and more better than they're more powerful and better than you. You're the peasant, and he bowed to him. I don't think anybody really dwelled on it. I did. I said, I went, oh my God, he bowed. That's submissive. You don't do that. Yeah, did you ever see them bowing? One king to another king over there bowing? No, they don't. When they um, and when he was basically trying. Obama tried to entice him, tried to woo him. He tried to be nice to him. Hey, no sanctions. You can build, but we'll have Europe watch you. Do you guys know about that? Poland and it was Poland and I think NATO was even, where they were going to keep an eye on them and make sure they weren't going to do anything wrong with their nuclear program. Well, Iran held them off for quite a few months, I think a year or two, saying, no, wait a minute now, we got to work this deal out and that deal out. And lo and behold, they speedy quick started pushing it into production because we know Netanyahu told us this. And Netanyahu warned us and said they're doing it underground. Oh, maybe not, Obama said. Obama said Iran has got this relationship. They wouldn't lie to him. Well, yes. Someone who's threatening to destroy Israel, denies the Holocaust, hates Christians. They are not going to stop making their nuclear program. And they didn't. Now we found out. They sped it up. And then many leaders got together. I think there was 8 or 9 of them. William probably knows more about this than me. They got together and they said, we got to do something about this. And Obama says, well, let's scrap some of these plans and we'll just make sure that they let in the inspectors. Or if they don't, we're going to put sanctions on them again. Well, it got blown off again. And Obama never went back and never did anything about this. That is why we're seeing what we're seeing today. And so, when we are looking at if we could get a Republican office, we might be able to put the sanctions on them again. But right now, what we're seeing is a very weak, they say our presidential administration and our administration is very weak. And that's the way they think of it. And they're helping Pakistan, they're helping Afghanistan. They're helping the Houthis down in Oman and Yemen. They're helping in Africa and with the Boko Haram. All the way to Hamas and all the way to Hezbollah. And you heard them say, oh, we're not helping Hamas. Well, no, but they are always helping Hezbollah. So that's not helping Hamas, but Hezbollah could give the stuff to Hamas. Now, what concerned me was back in 2000, I'm going to say 10, 12, 13, when I was looking into ISIS in Mexico. Well, I did find Hezbollah was there, but I didn't really know what Hezbollah was. I was more concerned about looking for ISIS. Well, come to find out, back then, Hezbollah was, and that was due to Iran basically working with moving Hezbollah into Venezuela. And then from Venezuela, they moved themselves into Mexico and started training camps for those coming out of Pakistan. So and that was in 2013. That's 10 years ago. How far have they gotten? And we wonder why all of these terrorists are coming over our border. And to me, it doesn't really start with Carter. I don't think Carter really, he was trying to work to get the hostages. But when it came to having a Muslim president that swore in on the Quran, not the Bible, he swore in on a Quran, go back and look. And he brought all the Muslims out to freedom, out to be the Muslims they could be. And I seen what happened in the UK. And then I started seeing Dearborn. And then I started seeing the Obama administration was working with Kerry and Joe Biden on this nuclear plan that, yeah, you can, no, you can't. Yeah, you can do nuclear power. No, you can't do the other stuff. But we never really could get the inspectors in there to see what they were doing for many years. I'm not sure if Trump ever did. I bet that's probably a question. I don't think Trump really got the inspectors in to take a look. It took Netanyahu being very, very sneaky to get in and take a look. And what he found blew us all away. Netanyahu doesn't have a choice, folks. They have got to deal with, he's got to deal with Iran because that's their number one target is Israel. Iran isn't going to stop. And I don't think we should make Netanyahu or Israel stop, because if they don't act, how much bigger are we going to see out of Iran with this nuclear program? When he does, he's going to come out and say, I've got X amount of nukes, or is he going to say, I got one good one and I'm going to get you? But no, you need more than one. When you're saying death, it's Israel and it's the United States, one isn't really going to do much for Israel, and one isn't going to do, I don't know how he's going to split it in half. So that's why I believe that we are seeing more than one. Because when he's done with Israel, he's coming here. He's going to come after the United States. It's been part of their chant. They were chanting it in the 60s and 70s and 80s. They're going to get us. They're going to get us. They're going to get us. They're going to get Israel. And now they're on our doorsteps, probably in our country, a lot of these terrorists. So Netanyahu must act. And now what he does, it's up to him. And what time limit, I don't know. But I really feel that Netanyahu has got to probably end up in a war with Iran, because if it's, Iran wants, it's not just there. They want Saudi, they want Syria, they want Turkey, they want Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan. They want it all for the oil. They want to control the oil. But not only that, but it's a religious vendetta against Israel. So what do we do? What do we do? Simply, we supported Israel and we back them up. So as we get further and further into the war, folks, don't be surprised, and don't put Netanyahu down for wanting to take care of Iran. And if that's the choice he makes, we need to back him up, because who else is going to do it? Iran still calls us weak, calls this administration weak. They laugh and scoff at us. And what does Biden do? Nothing. Even knowing that they're bombing Syria and our bases. Well, let's throw a few drones out there and blow them up. It never should have happened. What would happen if they hit our country 56 times? Are we just going to sit and look and say, Biden, well, it's only 56 times they hit our bases. What's the difference between there and here? Well, here it would be serious. So, all right. Maybe me and William will talk more about this tomorrow, but I did want to let everybody know no shows on Thanksgiving. Oh, and but me and William will be here tomorrow with the World War III report. I bet you I got William going, he's got some ideas. I can feel the vibes. William's going to have some good ideas for tomorrow over this Iran thing. So with that, folks, I want y'all to have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will be back tomorrow, me and William, and also for the weather and lifestyle news. Subscribe and hit the like button, and share all of our shows. Share the fun post on Thanksgiving to friends and family. You guys have a wonderful evening, and God bless.